chat. Why you not show up? There you go. And today's episode of I Saw This Coming. You saw this coming. Everybody except the people involved saw this coming. Window. Brave. Inaction is unacceptable. California lawmakers create first retail theft committee amid surging crime. So, they effectively legalize theft up to $1,000, and they wonder why crime is up. Defund the police, uh, lessen punishments, revolving door to jails, and crime is an all-time high. And, of course, in their infinite wisdom, their solution is to make a committee to pay people to ponder the obvious. But let's be real, they really don't want to solve this. Let's see. What is happening in our communities is unacceptable and we must act with urgency. Assemblyman Rick Chavez said in December 18th press release. But we must also look at the facts and find the solutions that will actually work. All you have to do is allow the shopkeepers to shoot the thieves, and the problem will very quickly solve itself. Much like the border. If you shoot anyone who crosses the border, they'll stop coming. Retailers scream for help. No fucking shit. Everyone has their own ideas, and hopefully by the end of these hearings, we can identify some solutions. No. They're just making work for their buddies to be on the committee and to pretend to care. But they don't. Yeah, this is impacting our constituents. Yeah, see how the next election goes for you. They're feeling the brunt of this higher cost and feeling unsafe in public spaces. No, you don't say. Blah, blah, blah. Even if you can charge them with a felony, jails are so crowded they won't serve any time with no real consequences for reoffenders. We're seeing a rise in retail theft crimes. No shit. When we see the same people commit the same crime, it suggests the system is broken. It's almost like it's by design. Inaction is unacceptable. Yeah, I am not exactly going to shed a tear. Let's see. Okay. So, and that was things we saw coming. In this episode of I've been saying it before and I'll say it again. You are the carbon they want to get rid of. Do your part for global warming. Stop breathing. As if we aren't already incredibly wary of climate hysteria where everything is to blame from cow farts to your lawnmower. Spoiler alert, they're not done yet. It's almost like they have a certain end game. Like they have a certain plan that they've been leading towards. It's not the CO2 you exhale, it's something far more sinister. It's the recent peer reviewed study from the UK, of course, it was a fucking UK, has determined that exhaled human breath can contain the greenhouse gases methane and nitrous oxide, both of which has a much higher global warming potential than carbon dioxide. It's almost like they're trying to move the goalpost. It's almost like they're trying to move the goalpost because the bullshit they've been feeding people is not working anymore. So they have to ratchet it up and find the new scary thing. Full disclosure, yeah, those there do have a greater effect on the greenhouse. Like when it comes to the greenhouse effect, like methane, nitrous oxide are way worse than carbon dioxide. But Again, you have to put things in perspective in that the atmospheric concentration of these gases are damn near negligible, and the amount of these here greenhouse gases you would have to emit to enact any sort of change will be on the level of a super volcano. So, like the human impact on this here, it's like, is anthropogenic, well, is like climate change a thing from the human's perspective? Yes. Is it the end of the world? No. But I just like the breakdown of this here. But thankfully, not all people are climate destroyers. Oddly, only 31% of people reach the threshold, as cited the study claims methane producers or MPs. I'm sure there's some MPs that are full of hot gas. Yeah, but I just like the breakdown of older people and females were more likely to be members of parliament. I mean, methane producers. They don't know why. Curiously, the researchers also found no statistical relevant correlation between the levels of human greenhouse gas emissions and diet. So fear not, it is an immediate affirmation of thou shalt eat the bugs from now on, yet. Instead, they insist more research to be done. Of course, always more research. Converting from high meat to protein content diets to high fiber vegetarian options to mitigate the emissions of greenhouse gases from meat production from animals potentially results in higher production of gases in the human gut and element pollution swapping could occur. You don't say, it's almost as shit evens out. The study does not dismiss the human breath contribution to global warming as insignificant, which is the scary part. Eh, In terms of magnitude, these values are approximately 0.05% and 0.01% of total emissions of methane and nitrous oxide reported in UK greenhouse gas inventories. Ooh, so scary. So if they're coming after your gas stove, they might just come after all of you MPs out there. Soon they'll be handing out MP test kits like they were handing out COVID tests. Don't laugh, y'all know it's the silliest conspiracy theories of the last decade that almost all come true. Watch your back. A wise man once said, 6 months. uh, uh, yeah, I was checking. Let's see. Thousands of doctors take legal action against transgender mandate. Little too late, but we'll see how this pans out. A group of 3,000 doctors and medical professionals are suing the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services over a mandate that broadens the term sex in federal civil rights statutes to include gender identity and sexual orientation. And by moving the goalposts and changing the language, that's what they want to cudgel you with. In this case, specifically for these guys, uh, they want to beat the doctors in submission. Even like all the doctors are like, no, this is wrong. This is child abuse and child mutilation and stuff. They want to use the stick as opposed to the carrot of forcing these doctors into compliance. Because we covered before that the Hippocratic oath is not what it used to be, and it's just gotten so bad. I feel bad for doctors at this point, but yeah, they're just laying out the plan of attack that they want to go with their motion forward of not being forced to comply with these insane measures. But of course, they're fighting an uphill battle in that the order expanded the interpretation of sex beyond a person's biology to include a person's declared gender identity or sexual orientation, which was an executive order put in by CBU. Let's see. This gender affirming care would extend to pediatric services and potentially bring about disciplinary action for physicians refusing, for any reason, to provide care to children. Well, care in question marks, because they've like these fucking monsters have always they've always rolled out the, well, if you don't mutilate them and stunt their growth and pump them full of hormones that will shorten their lives, they will shorten their lives because they'll commit suicide. And but of course, we've covered before that a lot of legislatures, well, not legislature, but lawsuits, a lot of lawsuits by these detransitioners are going through right now the system, and they're like, well, all these, like the detransitioners will be like, oh, well, all these doctors push this stuff on me, and I didn't have informed consent, and that's like the basis that they're going for, that these kids can't consent to this shit, and there's not enough checks and balances in place to stop this here in a lot of places. But yeah, the pendulum's swinging back. It's just going to take a while to work its way through the court systems, or until enough people say enough is enough. Yeah, yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you guys, because it's really fucked up. The government says, like, okay, you guys have to cause harm in your profession. That's effectively what all this here stuff comes down to, is that the government is forcing doctors to cause harm, either by uh, kowtowing to the uh, the trannies, like the troons, or in like case of COVID stuff, like, you will take this gene therapy and you're gonna like it, kind of stuff. You know, like over the last 4 years or so, like, there's been so much damage to the medical profession from so many different angles, but the main ones being the pandemic and this transdemic, the pandemic and transdemic. Like, are just a 1-2 punch in the credibility of a lot of doctors, or just the general medical profession, or the scientific field in general. But we've seen this shit before. Ah, yes. Speaking of, Danish healthcare trainee seeks 1.6 million compensation after severe COVID-19 vaccine injury. What happened was that she got the COVID gene therapy, suffered a lot of health complications, and had to bow out of work, and now she's suing them for lost wages and potential lost wages. That's where the 1.6 million is coming into play. So the lost wages that she would have made working up until uh, when she's eligible for retirement, so 73. So that's what the calculation is that they're doing, like her and her lawyers coming up with for the payout. I don't know if it's actually ever going to go through, but I'd be kind of curious to see if it does manage to go through, and it sets a precedence. Well, at least in Denmark. But you're going to be. We've already started to see a bunch of these lawsuits go through, and there's just going to be more and more and more. Yeah. Meanwhile, 240 similar cases reported to the Danish Workers' Compensation Board. That's just in Denmark. Each involving loss of working capacity post COVID vaccination. The story of Jasmine Jensen is not an isolated incident, but part of a larger ongoing wave of lawsuits and claims that are piling up around the world. This is going to go into hyperdrive. Mark my words. Let's see. It's like martial law. Poland's pro EU government seizes public news channels in massive police raid. Okay, this shit's fucked up. Okay, so Poland just had elections, and the powers that have come into play right now are locking down everything. In this case, they seized the public news channels, and uh, what they mean by this is that they went in, told everyone that they're fired, and escorted off the property. With this is fucking nuts. I mean, this is literally like communist like Stasi level shit. This is in Poland. Woo! Hi, late. I'm Zendler. I just went over a couple health ones, but this one here is pretty insane. So in Poland, the new party is cracking down on the freedom of the press and free speech, and they literally marched, literally 1984, but literally, yeah. So they literally marched in. The police fired everyone who runs like the TV stations and radio stations, like TV and radio. Excuse me. And yeah, they shut down everything and taken everything over. This is fucking nuts. Politicians compared the action to introduction of martial law in Poland in 1981, in the sense that the government then also shut down TV programs and dismissed scores of journalists. There was outrage too at the incident, which a female MP from PIS was assaulted by one of the bodyguards who assisted the new chairman of the TVP board in taking over the office at TVP. This is the most brutal taking of power ever in the EU, with the government using force, assaulting MPs, and shutting down media they don't they do not like. It was also said necessity and justification for the move flow from Tuesday's resolution by the Polish parliament, which called on the government to, and I quote, restore the impartiality and credibility of public media. Yes, by shutting down the free press and installing the approved ones. So they're installing the Stasi. They're installing the Stasi, and they're fucking. It's just fucking nuts. Let's see. The journalists stopped from having their programs broadcast have been hosted by the independent TV channel Republica, and they are planning to start broadcasting from there starting Thursday. There's literally a new version of Radio Free Europe starting up. This is fucking nuts, and kind of makes me wonder if the new party is like pro EU and globalists and stuff. I wonder what they're going to do with all the recent acquisitions as far as military hardware and ongoing contracts with the United States and South Korea for purchases go. Because a lot of that stuff is still on the books to be purchased and shipped and whatnot. I wonder if they're going to cancel a lot of those contracts. Shit's going wild there in Poland. Fuck. Speaking of the death of the freedom of the press, day X this year, Julian Assange finally appeals set for February. So Julian Assange, this is literally the last chance, like the last appeal to keep from being extradited to the United States, where he's going to be in there for like 200 years. If they will convict him, if he ever touches the U.S. soil, he's going to be in jail for the rest of his life, which is honestly not much longer at this point. But I don't know. I think this is like the first Assange update I've had on these news readings and stuff. But honestly, the day that they finally whack him or get him in American jail and stuff, which he will be whacked if he ever gets sets foot in jail, they're gonna find a way to uh, have him like Gen Pop and get shanked, like that cop from Floyd. So I don't know. Dead man walking, but again, the freedom of the press died a long time ago. It's just sad. And not nearly as depressing of news, but uh, gaming stocks plunged after Beijing unleashes surprise crackdown. So apparently, the CCP, enacted newer, more harsh measures on video games, which were already harsh to begin with. But it looks like they're upping the amount of the like their time, like people like have time caps for playing video games. So it looks like they're upping the caps, and cracking down on a bunch of other shit. So like Tencent and NetEase and a bunch of other video game companies in China, just like their stocks have fucking tanked. And also this year seems to be dragging down a bunch of other unrelated video game companies. But then again, Tencent has their fat fingers in everything these days, so I'm not terribly surprised that the video game sector, as far as stocks go, is fucking crashing on these news. I'm not surprised. The government gaming curb measures will hurt gaming companies' earnings. No fucking shit. Blah 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 blah. So yeah, just giving a lot of comments from different companies saying how this here is shit. And well, duh. I don't know. Commie is gonna commie. What can I say? Okay, this one's a little interesting. So I knew for the longest time that Pornhub was on the books to get sued for a bunch of different shit. So Pornhub admits to profiting from sex trafficking, agrees to 1.8 million settlement and deal with feds. So it looks like the deal is that they're going to pay a 1.8 million fine to the U.S. government, and they're going to be under uh, U.S. federal investigation or surveillance, or I don't know, monitoring. I guess would probably be the better word. They're going to be monitored for the next 3 years, and then after those 3 years of being monitored, any outstanding charges that Pornhub has in the U.S. will be waived. Is to my understanding from this. But again, Pornhub was caught literally child porn. They got caught with child porn and like revenge porn and a shit ton of other stuff. And they're only getting dinged for 1.8 million, which is low, if I'm being honest. But this here article did. I wasn't aware of this. I knew they were owned by MindGeek, but apparently, uh, they've recently been acquired by ALO, formerly MindGeek, by investor and rabbi, of course, a fucking rabbi, Solomon Friedman, who says he wants to turn the company's image around following this and other scandals involving illegal content on the platform. And like I said, Pornhub must appoint an independent monitor for 3 years, after which the charges will be dismissed. I don't know. Honestly, they should probably have gotten crucified a lot more than $1.8 million, if I'm being honest. But again, I don't know. I don't know. Like the lizard people in Washington probably want their porn, so they didn't want to slap them too hard, I guess. Who fucking knows? Just quickly taking a scan in Proctor's Discord because I'm behind and everything. Yeah, truth be told, I don't really have that much news. Oh, as new tradition, copy paste, text lower. So a sad little story. The recent Kabbalist I was playing on Grim Dawn, I went through normal and normal difficulty and epic difficulty, and I totally didn't realize that my bags from quest rewards, you can get up to 5 additional bag slots in your inventory, and I didn't realize that my character file was bugged. And I went into my character editor to see if I could fix it, but I couldn't. So it's like, yeah, fuck it. I decided to make the character over again, and I decided for once to actually use the difficulty skip item from my other characters, and just say fuck it, just go ultimate difficulty straight off the bat. Truth be told, I'm about the same spot where I was in ultimate difficulty, so eh, I get to play more game. Whoop-de-doo. Although playing ultimate difficulty at level, as opposed to being max level with all the bells and whistles, being at level with like, you know, token twink gear is actually pretty fun. It's not that easy. Almost refreshing. Map over to that monitor. So it's not to cover up OBS. And I'm just going to vegetate until Kirsche streams in about an hour and a half. Oh, it falls. Yep, definitely not easy. Jesus. I do miss being in my max level gear because being like minimum resistances is painful. Eh, like nothing for Aether and like in the negatives for fucking piercing. Chaos. Fuck. On the flip side, with all my experience gear, turning in quests makes me jump like a shit ton of levels. 46, even though I'm still at the start. The difficulty level just goes that fast. Hey, healer. Right. Anyway, does anyone have any exciting plans for the weekend or just business as usual even though it's the holidays? Oh my god, that's bad. Like I know, yeah, like I know a bunch of companies are desperate for like bodies right now this time, but it's like, yeah, can you come work for us? You come work for us? It's just like, it's like, uh, oh, because you know it's gonna be like a temp job just for the season, and even then it'll just be like hell work, and be like, all right, wham bam, thank you, ma'am, get laid off. If they're gonna ask you to work like such short notice and stuff, you know it's gonna be shit. Telling them to fuck off is probably the best way to go about it. All right, well, I'm not answering, but you know. It's like I know it's been 8 months. Are you open to interview now? Yeah, yeah, how that would have gone, would have gone. Yeah. Yeah, if companies are gonna be shit from the get-go, that's usually a bad sign, though. Oh god, why is there two? Increase. Okay, 7. We have a new item. Where's 7? Writings of Ruin.
loose. I'll give you a good price of what I've got left. Iron well spent. Come see what's left of my wares. See anything you like? See you around.
Guys, free. Alright. Oh, don't come this way. Fuck you, die. Ultimate difficulty in case test. Okay, relinquiry. Paste. Typing. Oh, you whore. Okay. Writing's first entry. Where's the second entry? Man, fuck it. Oh shit. And the thing, the expansion's gonna have a harder difficulty level. Like, a normal difficulty level has a veteran setting, which makes normal a little harder. And come the expansion, the next expansion for Grim Dawn, ultimate difficulty is gonna have the equivalent of that, veteran difficulty, whatever they end up calling it. Getting my ass handed this one. Now an ultimate. Uh, I don't know, Zero Hedge has always looked like that for years. Unless they rolled out a new update I'm not aware of in the last hour. If nothing else, I wish Zero Hedge would have a dark mode. Fucking dark mode website. That'd be nice. It'll give me a reason to log in. uh, this bomb was more of a stretch. Rich Wisconsin. Rich Wisconsin. Paste. Save.
Oh, hello, traveler.
Yeah, the news articles are. Oh, I don't know. If I don't have that many and I rip through them, then it's kind of. It's like day 2 of I just rip through news reports and then just go straight to game. And unless you want to pop in and say hi. Because I know Sigma doesn't want to voice dox himself. Although if you want to pop in voice chat and say hi, add me on Discord, because I don't have Discord focused.
storage. No questions asked.
Yeah, that's fine. It's a slow, lazy day. Otherwise, unless you're work. Okay, I'm having a slow, lazy day, but if you're working, hopefully it's not a mad dash. What the Sigma Yi almost got roped into.
I'll keep an eye on this. I'll give you a good price on what I've got left. Put it to good use. See anything you like? Put it to good use. Got something you need stashed? I'll keep an eye on this. Yeah.
Oh shit! Oh, I'm in the negative. Chaos damage. Okay, so I know the gist of last night was Hexa and someone else joined the forum and the Discord. Uh, was there anything more? Was there anything more to it than just a couple of VTubers joining, aside than people losing their fucking mind as always? Because I swear, it's like a day that ends in Y. It's like you're a female. female, and then people lose their fucking minds. It's always so fucking stupid. Quest, strange Okay, they started grooming Emprey's how? In that, hey, join us in being a bunch of degenerate shit? Or, is I don't know. Emprey's is, boys love Fujo shit aside. She isn't as Menhera as Hexa. Then I became active in that they've always had an account and they just started talking kind of thing. Those are Jesus. Good. Ironically, wow, so mature connect. Oh my fucking god, really? Such small V2 or hot, why don't you slide into my DMs? Haha. Oh. Okay, so I take it since they tried the groom Empress, I take it most people were like, no. And hopefully Empress wised up quickly to the how things work, especially with that one. I hope. Yeah. Empress wanted to talk to them. We tried talking to her first and foremost, so Megu would notice her at work. Then the short was like, ooh, shy, wiki dog, outs him as such in the forum. Megu joins, and then a bit afterwards, Hector joins us. But oh my fucking god. Seriously, we're just doing a little trolling. I don't know. Everyone involved is adults, quote unquote, big ass air quotes, adults in this. So I'm not gonna nanny people. I'm kind of glad. I'm kind of glad I missed out on all the hullabaloo. I don't know. I like Empress, but we can only warn her about so much shit and stuff. She needs to much like the Q situation. She needs to get burned to learn. Is kind of my feeling on the future. Hopefully Empress doesn't get in her mind of like, oh, they're girls, they'll be fine. Be like, no. if Q was an indication of like just because you're dealing with another girl doesn't mean there's a level of retardation involved. Especially with especially if Hex is involved. Woof. Well, they weren't Fujos, but I'm sure there were not Fujos, but they're Menhera. So yeah, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Oh dear lord. -2 for chaos. Gotta make sure I'm not missing anything. Nope. Okay, so just to make sure I'm keeping my people straight for everyone involved as far as the girls went. So, Empraise, it's like Empraise, Hexa, Dena. Was there someone else? Am I having a stroke? It can run faster if the Discord is full of shit flinging instead of it being dead awkward silent. At least that's my interpretation. Yeah, that's why I kind of noticed when it comes to Proctor's general channel on Discord is that things quiet down. It'll either cycle to like oh yeah, Megu. It'll either cycle to like bug fucking or like uh their boys love shit. Oh sweet Jesus. Right. Thorian keeps yelling at me every time I call him a chick. And I was just like, well, if you don't want me to call you a chick or heaven forbid a black chick, why don't you voice dox yourself? Prove me wrong. Prove me it's not mod wrong. Or if nothing else, prove or make okay, I have imaginary internet money running that Thrang is a chick. And the Sop mod is somewhat convinced that he might be a black chick. So that's kind of where we're falling down on. So if he can ever voice dox himself, that'd be great. And we don't trust him with the showing his arm thing. That could have just been off of Google Images. We don't trust that. The voice dox would be the be all end all. I'll send you a 1 microsecond clip of random Ray voice. Well, yeah, that's well, I know. Like much like the quote unquote arm docs thing. I'd have to get him on for like a little while. Be like, all right, are you who you say you are? Are you voice using? Are you pulling a REA and using a voice changer? Yeah, it's just like. She's Pipkin's Puerto Rican girl. No. Thrang is Proctor's Puerto Rican girlfriend. M's the animation has convinced me. Ooh. Therapist. Let's get those stuff. Okay.
It's safe with me, promise. I'll keep an eye out. Come see what's left of my wares. Put it to good use. See anything you like. stashed. I'll keep an eye on this. Come see what's left of what wares.
Mental note. Well, that is to say, I'm going to write down in my notes. Let's see. Let's see. Text. Odyssey template. Reading the news. And playing. Remove hyperlink formatting. Reading the news. And playing Grim Dawn. Done. When finished. Yeah, it's usually a safe bet. Reading the news and playing Grim Dawn when finished. Oh, balls. Well, yep, that -2 resistance for chaos does add up. Son of a bitch. Oh, you dumbass dog. Peace. Gotta get my Zola in. Need to watch the latest Mandalore video before Amy starts. Yeah, okay. Thanks for coming. Thanks for saying hi. Go up and take it easy. I'm probably gonna wrap it. Actually, I should probably wrap it up now anyway. All right. Yeah, Kirsch's on 20-ish. Oh, I'll go make lunch and then watch Kirschi. All right. Thanks for everyone for coming and take it easy. Later.